Pieces in progress is in a session. Just two friends having good conversations.
So I know last time we got on this relationship kick, and so I kind of thought we could continue.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this post on Reddit. Let's jump right in. This is from He Spent. My boyfriend is mad I didn't let him use my truck after disrespect. 27-year-old female, 30-year-old male. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 4 years. His car is out of commission right now until he can afford to get it fixed. We live together, and last week he's had a handful of disrespectful comments to the point where I'm asking for an apology that he just doesn't want to give. Well, today he made plans to go visit his parents that I was invited to, but I told him all week I would not be coming to his parents because it's my one day off after working 6 days a week for weeks in a row, and I need a mental break. Last night, he asked me if I was coming, and I stated no. I've been trying to tell you all week I would not be attending your parents because I need the day to just relax. He then said to me, well, no one wants you there anyway. After this comment, I asked him to apologize a couple times because that was so rude, and all he said was my bad, which obviously is not a real apology. Today, he expected to use my truck to go to his parents, and I told him I'm not tolerating the disrespect and still allowing him to use my vehicle. He then said he would tell his parents over the phone that he can no longer go because I'm controlling and it's my fault. Why am I made to be the bad guy for having boundaries with how I'm being spoken to?
You gotta go with the first part, where she says, so the part where I'm asking him for an apology.
Right. So, go back even further. And she says, the last week he said a handful of disrespectful comments to the point where I'm asking him for an apology.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to give. I'm curious what the relationship really looks like. What has changed in the dynamic that he thinks he can treat you?
Yeah, because he's all of a sudden just treating. Because a lot of times, whenever I hear somebody say, "Oh, well, all of a sudden they're treating me like this," like, oh, okay, so this is brand new behavior. He's never done anything like this in your relationship. And
well, no, he's done it before, but
yeah.
Then I told him it bothered me and he stopped.
Yeah, and now he's doing it. And I think that I don't know how. I'm trying to think in a relationship where I've asked for an apology. I'm not saying that I haven't, but I'm trying to think.
I definitely have. But not like, can you say sorry to me? More like,
do you see what you did wrong?
No, not even that. It's, I've straight up told my husband, you owe me an apology. You were rude to me. You said and or did X, Y, and Z. You hurt my feelings. And I'm not going to continue this until I get my apology. I told you about this. This happened a couple weeks ago where I came in and we had argued about something in the car. Then I came in and I said, you really hurt my feelings, like blah, 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 blah. And he was like, okay, well, I'm not going to apologize right now because that's not going to feel very genuine. And I was like, that's fair.
Yeah. I'm trying to think where I might have asked for an apology, but I know that I've done, maybe I haven't been as direct about asking for an apology. I'll be like, okay, do you see what you did wrong here? How you treated me?
And so I'm wondering if maybe that's what she's doing because that's a fault in communication on two sides. And I had a couple friends go through this a couple weeks ago. And she's like, can you see where you were wrong? And that's almost shifting the lane.
Yeah.
The real meat and potatoes here is he expected to use my truck. Yeah, because you've been letting him.
Yeah.
And now you're taking it away like he's a bad child. I'm not going to let you use my truck because I asked you for an apology and you didn't give it to me. But I know you had these plans on.
Also, too, there might be entitlement in a relationship where he might feel he's entitled to the truck.
There might be, but also, like, is there a stipulation? Was there something earlier in the week that said, like, hey, you're crossing these lines and you're doing all these things and I don't feel very valued here. And if you're going to treat me this way, I'm not going to continue to do all the things that I do for you.
And, now it becomes this trade-off, right? And that's,
sure.
And I feel in relationships, that's what a lot of people, and I'm not saying there shouldn't be trade-offs in a relationship, but when it becomes so transactional, vehicle, permission, that's all transactional.
Yeah, but I don't think decency and respect is transactional.
Can be.
I don't. I
shouldn't be.
It's bare minimum.
Yeah. like, no. You're right. It is bare minimum behavior. You should be treating your partner with decency and respect. That is a normal relationship expectation. I just think that people use it almost as currency sometimes in the relationship. Like, hey, I treated you nice yesterday. Right. Yeah, because you're supposed to.
Right. That's like a guy taking a girl out and going, well, I paid for that.
Yeah, I got you a burger.
So you gave me some.
Yeah, like exactly. So I like how you said bare minimum though, right? Because that's the thing being said on social media a lot. Like, what's the bare minimum in a relationship? I feel like a lot of people, even myself included, sometimes don't understand like bare minimum relationship, you know? And decency, respect, honesty, that kind of stuff. It is bare minimum. Like, there's a lot of people in the world thinking because they did the dishes on Tuesday, they're Superman. I remember talking to a friend. It was a female friend. Her husband was doing something, and I said, "Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there think they're doing the dishes on a Tuesday, and bam, they're like the king of the world." She goes, "Mm-hmm," and she just looked over at the husband. He's like, "Yeah, there's some guys out there," and I always remember that because I'm like, "Dang, that's some truth right there." So, what goes on next? Well, today he made plans to go visit his parents. I told him all week I would not be coming to his parents because it's my day off. And, I've been trying to tell you all week. I really hear the frustration when she says that. I've been trying to tell you. It almost jumps off the page to me. It's like she has really told him, and he's just not listening to that, or he's choosing not to listen. Right? I mean, no one wants you there anyways. That right there is,
That's a manipulation. I'm gonna guilt you. I'm
yeah.
gonna make you feel well, you're not even welcome there anyway. Who cares? You're not wanted. Nobody loves you.
No, you're exactly right. Saying that to someone that's just on a relationship scale, I was watching this lawyer and they talked about the difference between domestic violence and intimate partner violence is what they kind of talk about the difference a little bit. And I'm not saying there is a difference, but just like the manipulation could be IPV, right? Depending on what he's doing with it and stuff.
Not to trail too far into what is abuse, what is not
Yeah.
abuse. There is definitely emotional manipulation at play here. And there's pettiness on both sides, right? So she says, I asked him for an apology a couple of times because he was so rude. And all he said was my bad, which is obviously not a real apology to you.
Yeah.
To you. Is he good at making apologies? Has he been sincere? Has he made apologies? Or is this his go-to apology that you've accepted?
Also, too, who taught him how to apologize?
Right. But then on the flip side, then he expects to use my truck. And I told him I'm not tolerating the disrespect. Cool. You shouldn't tolerate the disrespect. But you knew he had these plans all week. He's been being disrespectful to you all week. You knew his plan was to use this truck, and we wait until the day of to say, okay, well, you know what? You didn't apologize to me the way I wanted you to, so now you can't use my truck.
I mean, but she does say in there she tried selling them all week.
That she didn't want to go.
That's right. That's right.
That she needed a mental break. Listen, if I'm at my wit's end with my partner and I need a mental break, get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
That's a true mental break.
It is.
By myself.
Actually, you bring up a really good point because honestly, by saying, hey, now you can't take this truck, now you're holding them hostage. Where are they going to go?
No, he can use his Lamborghini.
Yeah, that's true. And he can, and don't get me wrong.
He can get an Uber.
Yeah.
He can get a Lyft.
That's
he can
true.
Ask a friend. He can take public transit. Maybe not. I don't know. You can ride a bicycle.
Yeah, you're right about that. If someone told me like, well, hey, you can't use my truck, so you can't go to this place. Oh no, I'm going to this place. Someone figured it out. Can I call family? Can they come pick me up? Is that possible?
Why would you ask?
Yeah.
You're a 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
You don't need my permission to go anywhere. But there's this thing that it's like, this almost comes off very immature on both sides. So I wonder what else has been cooking here.
Yeah. There's something deeper in the relationship, right? And a lot of people, when they write this post, they think the problem is the truck. They think the problem is the apology. And it's not. It's her not feeling listened and heard. It's him feeling devalued in some way. It's him not feeling like he should be a decision maker at the moment.
I mean, here you go. His car has been out of commission.
Yeah. So he probably feels like...
Right. There's a piece, and maybe it's not being talked about. Maybe it's not being spoken. He has to come to you as a man and ask your permission to use your car. And now there's this other piece where if he doesn't treat you a certain way, he can't use said car.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you should tolerate being disrespected. I'm the same way, right?
Yeah.
I've told my husband, if you're going to act or treat me some kind of way, like you can figure it the fuck out because you ain't using my car. He has his own car and it's been on commission a time or two. But at the same time, the piece that speaks out is you need a break. You've been working nonstop, 6 days a week for weeks on on it. And you're telling your partner, I need a fucking day to relax. And he's like, cool, I'm going to go to my parents. We're going to go to my parents. We're going to go to my parents. And he's got some shit going on too, where he's having to come to you as a man.
Mhm.
And I'm one of those people like, who fucking cares? I get it though. Like, the ego, fucking independence, fucking pride. He has to come to you as a man to take your vehicle, ask you permission, and he's being petty and he's doing these backhand things. And you're not getting your way. He's not getting his way. Neither of you are getting your fucking needs met, and you're taking it out on each other.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see too. And I'm curious, where's the underlying issue to all of this? Like, where's the breakdown coming from? And it's probably something super simple, like the way he said he wanted the vehicle, the way he said that she needed to come to maybe the family thing. She sounds so spent. I'm curious if she needs longer than a day to recover. I'm curious what she does for a living. What's it say in the comments?
So someone commented, unless you enjoy the contempt and disrespect, you should get out of your relationship.
It's so insane to
And
me.
someone said, right, dude doesn't even like her. And then someone else said, she doesn't even like her. If she did, she'd never stay with someone like that. She needs therapy, or maybe she already knows. Maybe her dad treated her mom the same way. Sometimes I really hate reading comments, Kelly, because it's like these people have no idea what's going on. I love this one, the line, maybe her dad treated their mom the same way. When we grow up with certain behaviors or we're around certain behaviors, things happen that tell us like that is how love is received, that is how love is expressed, that is acceptable, that's not acceptable. This post is so short, and yet there's so much contextual information missing.
No, I just think it's crazy how many times when I read a relationship comment and the first thing people put all the time is you should just break up.
Girl, dump him. Tell him to grow up. Pack his bags. And tell him to go back to his mama's house.
Oh man, every time. That's exactly what happens. They always say break up, and I'm always wondering like why. What does this say here? What are you getting at?
Your boyfriend doesn't like you or respect you. Why would stay with someone who treats you that way? Break up. He's going to tell on his parents to you. Are you dating a 5-year-old?
I wonder when people put these comments, like what they're hoping. And I'm curious about their own relationships and their own insecurities. Because if you're telling someone to break up on a thing, I'm not sitting there saying there's no advice I'd never give where I'm like, oh, hey, you should break up. But something like this, we're talking about a miscommunication about a car and a weed. Yeah, there's some underlying stuff to this for sure. That's the top layer.
Here's one. You need to be more calculated than this. I mean, you knew that he needed your truck, so why didn't we plan on going to a country drive and taking a hike, or there was no option for him to use your truck? No, you shouldn't have to do this, but if this motherfucker's going to play games, why can't you? Because toxicity only builds toxicity.
Yeah, and if you were to do that, that's just like, what do you want out of this relationship? At that point, why aren't you breaking up with them?
Right, because you're addicted to the predictability of the chaos.
Well, yeah, I mean, one thing that people love in relationships is consistency. Even if it's negative, toxic, betrayal, toxicity,
because it's predictable.
It is consistent. Does anybody give any good advice on this comment thing?
No.
Who cares if she's only 27? Nobody should put up with this regardless of their age. Also, too, look, I understand that it's going like one way and everything, but how come no one's, between me and you, I feel like sometimes when we have these kind of conversations, right? I'm not saying that we necessarily take a side, right?
But I think they're both wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah, we both think they're wrong, but I think that whenever we talk about like the relationship though, I tend to be harder on guys. I do. I'm like, you should be leading the relationship and maybe you should start acting a certain way or something. And I'm not saying you're harder on ladies, but I think that's like a perspective that we're both giving, right?
I'm a little more firm. And I think I'm a little more firm in my perspective because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in relationships where I've let people put me down, manipulate me, use me, throw me aside like I was nothing. Like I've been in those shoes, and I'm really hard on myself to not go back to that. So I think that, yeah, I might have a lens where it comes off a little stronger, but it's because I also understand the depths of work it takes on yourself to get out of that place. And you need someone to call you out.
Well, and that's whenever I hear the guys talking, and that's where I hear like the relationship conversation. All I feel is that my relationships, lack of leadership, not doing what you need to do, follow through, consistency, that sort of behavior. Also, not being taught how to do it. Like if we went to this guy right now and I said, hey, who taught you how to be in a relationship? You know, I was watching a TikTok the other day and a lawyer was talking and he was all like, I learned fractions in second grade, haven't used them once since. He goes, but no one told me how to be in a relationship. Man, is that not the truth? We're sitting here talking about fractions, not saying everybody should learn how to do a fraction. It's going to help you. But I'm saying like, we don't ever talk about what it means to really be in a relationship. And we're wondering why divorce runs rampant or why DV happens or, all this other stuff. And it's because no one teaches.
Well, the reality is it's really hard to be in a healthy relationship if you've never seen one.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people in this world, and I feel like I've never seen a healthy relationship.
I, once upon a time, was married and I went through a divorce. And in Pierce County, if you get divorced and you have children, you have to take parents.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to this parenting class and they were talking about healthy relationships. And this dude raised his hand and he goes, how do I know what a healthy relationship is if I've never been one? And I was like, that is a wild ass fucking question. So much fucking truth. How? Because you lie to yourself. So you think, oh my God, this relationship's everything. It's different. Number one lie you tell yourself. It's different. No, it's not fucking different. It's the fucking same. You are attracted to what you are fucking attracted to. You got like a fucking beacon, a fucking homing device. Zero in on that shit. And once you're activated, you sell yourself on it. You tell yourself it's different. You tell yourself it's a connection. It's this, it's that. You're fucking not in love. You're fucking activated.
Yeah. And so when I read the comments and they're all saying, dump him, but I don't see anything where somebody's like, hey, they don't ask any curiosity questions.
What else is going on in that religion? Why is his car out of commission? Why can't he use an Uber? Why can't he use a Lyft? Why have you been working 6 days a week for weeks on end? Why do you need a day of just relaxation? Why does your partner think he can override what you need for what he wants? Have you guys tried therapy? Like, you guys have been together for 4 years. It's not break up. Oh my God, fuck that. At 4 years, something else is happening. There has not been a communication. There has not been boundaries. Someone is not upholding their end of the deal. You're at your wit's end. You're coming to fucking Reddit to ask for advice. Mm-hmm. What's the missing piece here?
Also, too, even before you get into couples therapy, maybe there should just be individual therapy that goes on. Like, it is kind of curious to me when someone goes to Reddit for advice. I'm always curious.
Do they just want to? No.
Yes, I believe that too. All these people agree with you. Whoever this person is, they all agree with you. Dump his ass.
You don't know that. She didn't say, should I dump it?
Yeah, I know.
She wasn't asking for
I know.
it. So you said, and they'll agree with you.
No, she asked. She was asking.
This is my... This is perspective. You think what she's asking is like, is she in the right to withhold her truck and treat him like he's a child?
The information.
That's my perspective. Your perspective is no, she's asking if she should dump him.
And I'll tell you now, look at all the comments. And people agree with Bakai.
This is exactly why they're in the situation they're in. Mm-hmm. Because they're not fucking communicating. They're not saying, okay, this is my perspective. This is what I'm hearing you say. Mm-hmm. They're just talking over each.
And I will say that I'm going underneath the conversation, right? In the Reddit, she doesn't directly say, should I break up with them? But the undertone of her conversation is just like, what advice do you think someone's going to give you with the wins that you've given us? Right? Well, all the advice I've seen so far on this thing has been break up with them. I haven't seen nothing else. Well, maybe 1 or 2 questions, but nothing really thought-provoking questions, that's for sure. I would have asked like a whole tons of questions. There is one question on there that says, how come you can't take rideshare?
Right.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So, I mean, other than that.
If only there was rideshare.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's the biggest curiosity question that happens is like, why about ride? And then it's very curious to me why people want to ask, because I have a lot of questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish like we could find these people and just like, can I bring you here, but you're in the house and you can ask you these questions. I need to know the context, like leading up to this, like what has happened?
Yeah.
Like, why is his car out of commission? Is it out the shop? Does he not have the money to fix it? Is that why you're working all these fucking extra hours? What's really going on?
Is there a bigger resentment?
Is there something else at play?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. Why would your partner all of a sudden be so disrespectful to you out of nowhere?
Yeah. I would want some more context too. Is this really out of nowhere or is this have been a word to me getting to this? Yeah. And a lot of times, if you're going to Reddit, I always wonder about the Reddit relationship posts. Is this your first grasp at trying to save the relationship or the last?
And some people, what I do know, some people, they just need to vent. They just need to
Yeah.
get it off their chest. They just need to be like,
I need space. And Reddit is that space, right? Because you can be really confidential in Reddit. Now, then again, I have heard of relationship couples finding other people and finding their spouse on Reddit, talking about they cheated on their person, they did this, or they find this kind of post. And like, I saw you on the relationship post on Reddit. That was me you were talking about. And so, I mean, it's not all confidential, but I know a lot of people come here because they're hoping to get some really, I would think some really sound advice at least.
I get.
They come here because they want validation.
I think that because they want validation. I think that they go because there's this undertone that they want other people to tell them what they're thinking. You know, like you said, like, no, she's coming here. She wants to be solidified in the fact that she wants to break up with them. And I think some people do that. They want to go and like, you ever read Am I the Asshole? They want to be like, am I the asshole? But like, they want to be told no, you're not the asshole. You're totally fucking valid in whatever happened. But that's me. I'm not going to go to the fucking internet and go, my feelings are hurt.
You know, one thing I'm really curious about, did she ever take the Reddit post and like say, you know something, I put our shit on Reddit. Everybody's telling me that you're an asshole and I should break up with you. See, look at all these comments. I got hundreds. I do wonder about that if people do that on Reddit sometimes. Because I could see somebody doing that. Be like, look at all these comments. Because, people do it all the time. Hey, I was in one session with my counselor, and they told me what you did was me. So using the counselor as the leader in the relationship to get what you want and all that kind of stuff.
I've seen it happen. I've been like, good for them.
Yeah.
Go be with them then.
Yeah.
If that's how you truly feel and that's your opinion on that, then that's cool. What you doing with me? Do you want to do another one?
Another Reddit post?
Yeah, I found a longer one. I'm just going to read it to you. This one's a little long. This one is also pretty fresh. But there are some updates and Oki is responding in the comments. Okay, this one is about body shaming. I'll give you that tip. 20 male, my boyfriend. 19 female, guilt tripping for not wearing a bra. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 7 months. I have a flat chest, which is actually my favorite part. And I recently told him I want to start going braless because I'm so much more comfortable that way. He reacted with the word disgusting and told me he wouldn't have dated me if he saw me like that initially. He said, I can do what I want when I'm not with him, but he doesn't want me doing it around him in case we run into people he knows. But in the moment, I just brushed it off and agreed to wear pasties if he buys him. But the other day, I went out braless for the first time without him, like he said. Felt incredibly confident and pretty, and texted him that I've decided to do the same for our date the next day. He responded, quote, just wear whatever you want. I'll find a way to force myself to make peace with it. It's not like my opinion really matters enough for you to do it. You're going to do it anyway, and you've already done it. I'm just wasting my own energy and thinking about what's outside of my control. I told him that he was being manipulative and canceled our date. He repeatedly called me until I finally picked up, only for him to immediately start laughing on the phone and minimizing the issue, saying, I didn't mean that. I felt so invalidated that I hung up and swore at him with a text. He sent a bunch of texts after saying he didn't do anything wrong and accused me for not trusting him. We've not talked the entire weekend since. I spent the weekend writing him a massive letter. I apologized for swearing, and I laid out firm boundaries about his conditional attraction, guilt tripping, and lack of empathy. We're supposed to meet up tomorrow and talk. Honestly, I'm debating if it's even worth fixing. Even if, best case scenario, he sincerely apologized before reading the letter, or even if he reads the letter, takes full accountability, I can't hear all those passive-aggressive words he said and forgot the fact that for the entire time he didn't care about my feelings at all. And I can't unfeel how he laughed at my distress. Has anyone dealt with partners who minimizes your feelings like this, or who turns around and attack you for something that has no business with him in the first place? Is it possible for someone to actually realize their toxic communication patterns and change? Or am I wasting my time even handling this letter?
Man.
What the title said versus what happened here was vastly different for me.
Yeah.
I really thought that there was going to be more like shaming on his part.
I mean,
I think that he's just being honest. He's saying, if you would have done that, I would have found that disgusting and I would not have been attracted to.
I mean, is there a way that I can be honest and true to myself and I don't have to necessarily shame someone else?
I don't see that it was necessarily so.
Using the word disgust.
I think he's being so here. I'm going to give you a little bit of my own personal experience with this. I had an employee once who was like, I absolutely hate wearing a fucking bra to work. And I was like, okay, why do you wear a bra? She goes, we have to. And I said, but I'm wearing the dress code policy that you have to wear a bra. You can go braless. Nobody can say anything to you. And she did. And she was always at attention, if you get my picture. I was like, oh, you weren't lying. And she goes, no. And she's didn't wear a bra ever. Again, was there a piece of me that was like, wish I wouldn't have told her that? Did I tell her, if I'd only known that you weren't joking, that you were always going to be standing at attention or have your high beams on, I wouldn't have told you. No, because the reality is like, as a woman, you shouldn't feel forced into wearing a bra, but at the same time, you're with someone, they think they can be honest with you. And I've been in this position where my partner has definitely hurt my feelings, and I felt like they were being dismissive, and I felt like they were being rude to me, and then I've gone off. But I also feel like where he says, just wear whatever you want.
I was just going to say that.
I'll find a way to force myself to make peace with it.
And that's not being true to himself when he does that. I think why not?
It's not like my opinion matters enough for you to not do it. You're going to do it anyway, and you've already done it. I'm just wasting my own energy and thinking about what's outside of my control. What he's saying, and you can say he's not being true to himself, but I think right there he's saying, it's not my body, it's not my business, I have no control over it. I told you how it felt, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's her body.
Now, I'm curious how this all got brought up, because was she just going braless one day and he said something, or did she ask him?
She said that she has a flat chest, and it's actually her favorite part of her body.
She told him, I want to go braless because I'm so much.
Told him I wanted to go braless because I'm way more comfortable that way.
I think, yeah.
But you've spent 7 months of your relationship being uncomfortable. I hate wearing a bra. Right? I do. Fuck. Free the titties. So it's so westernized. Bra.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? And I do wear a bra for a variety of fucking reasons. That's nobody's business. But when I get home, I'm done.
I'm curious why it took 7 months though.
And I do like how she said, I sat down, I wrote him this letter, I apologized for my part, and I laid out full boundaries about his conditional attraction. It's not conditional. He told you, had you done this when I first met you, I would not have been attracted. That's not conditional. That's honest.
And that's just who he's attracted to, right?
Right.
People who are attracted to blondes.
Right.
That doesn't mean that, if you wouldn't, it's like, so I remember I had a friend before in the army where his wife shaved her head, and she did not discuss that with him. And he definitely.
If you had a bald head when I met you, I would not have been attracted to.
Yeah. And he was like, it's not something I'm attracted to, right? Now, when you first start dating people, are you dating them based on their attraction level, on face-to-face level, or are you trying to go for deep emotional connection?
Right.
And no matter what this person looks like, you're just going to be deeply in love with them. So how were you attracted to this person? And don't get me wrong, most people on the planet, it's physical attraction at first, and pheromones and the smell, and them next to somebody and the way they walk, and they remind you of somebody and all this other stuff, maybe a TV character or some shit. But, if you're really looking for that relationship where someone says they don't care what your body looks like ever, then your first thing when you're on your first date is, so let's say my whole body got burnt and I couldn't have any sexual relationship with you. How would you take it? I wouldn't be able to go through that. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm sorry.
Okay, forward.
Yeah. You just saved yourself 7 months.
Right.
But at 19 and 20, who's asking those questions?
Exactly. Because you're just exploring yourself. And
yeah.
The reality here is like, we don't know what's going to come with time.
Mm-hmm.
We think that we'll be okay with something, and then when it happens, our feelings might differ, right? If I used to have this neighbor, and he had what he called petrol.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking smoked a bitch. She was hot. And they had 2 kids together, and she was still like a size 2. She like had her fucking, and he's like, yeah, If she gained weight, I would not be with her. Oh, that's conditional attraction. If you do this, I'm not going to be with you. When I first got with my husband, he saw a picture of me skinny, like 135 pounds. And I don't have a skinny person friend. I don't. I look like Skeletor. And he told me, if you ever get skinny, I'll be here. And we chuckled, right? And I've lost close to 80 pounds. I'm probably the smallest that I've been since we've been together. And he's like, you look so good, like this, that, the other. And I was like, and you were worried about me losing weight.
I think that also too, like when it comes down to this, back to his word disgusting though, can I be disagreeable about how someone looks and because I think this disgusting is a disrespectful word, not necessarily honest. Can I be honest and be true to myself at the same time and use different vocabulary to describe what I'm feeling?
I think we get stuck on this word, but I want to point out here, he reacted with the word disgusting and told me he wouldn't have dated me if he saw me like that initially. That's the only piece she quotes in his initial reaction.
Yeah.
So that's the piece that stuck out to her. I'm sure he did use the term disgusting, but in what context?
Yeah.
In what context was it there? Because sometimes the word alone can trigger, and it can be like, that's
everything else is done.
I see women do that all the time, and I think it's disgusting.
Or, I don't, when women don't wear bras, I think it's disgusting, right? And don't get me wrong, you focus in on that word because that's where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I guess for me, I probably would have said something more like, that's not something I'm really attracted to.
I wouldn't have been as attracted to them.
Yeah. And so, and she might have been like, so, I mean, are you attracted to my physical looks or my emotional connection you feel for me? That's the time to be honest. And I actually am, I want more physicality.
I'm also very curious. How flat chested is she? Is it to where like the bra gives her the illusion of having some titties?
Oh, yeah.
And without it, she's just flat.
Because I've had guy friends who've had women flat chested.
What's the word? Androgynous?
Yeah. It doesn't make her look more like a male-ish kind of figure. So I mean, I've had friends who, their girlfriends or whatever with flat chested, and they feel some type of way that they're almost dating like someone who looks awesome, and yeah, and see that's the problem is that
if only we could see your penis sizes.
I feel like every guy I know, it takes so many guys so many years to figure out like how not to date someone and then use their friends as the polling committee on who they're dating. Like I'm supposed to go to my friends and be like, see, look who I'm dating. Look who I'm dating. And then that's supposed to be how we determine has the hottest person or something. And I'm telling you, man, it takes guys to probably like 40 or 50.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen this with you.
Yeah.
Without getting too much into it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I've definitely seen it and I agree. And it's like, okay, is it that? I more fucking power to you. Like, dude, I wish I had the confidence to walk out around without my fucking bra on my chest. And at 19, when I had better tits, I probably would have.
Some of the comments, one of the first comments, you're wasting your time. You're so young, and you'll find someone that accepts you. Disgusting shouldn't be a word your lover uses towards you. And like I said, I kind of agree. I think there's better verbiage that be used to describe your feelings about. And I'm wrong. We don't know the context on which the word is used either.
So there's another comment that says, are you from a non-Western culture? I feel like the issue is with perceived modesty, and it comes up frequently in certain Middle Eastern or Hispanic cultures. And OQ responds, yes, we are both Asians, but I didn't know that he's conservative in terms of clothing and body choices, considering he's been living in the state most of his life. My mom is also against my choice, but that's understandable. And I love her as much as I always do, but when it comes to my partner, that's a whole different thing that I will not tolerate.
That's interesting. I didn't, me and you didn't even consider the cultural piece. Interesting. But it took 7 months for you to figure out that he was this conservative. See, again, this is a 19, 20-year-old, right? Like you're not doing a checklist. And that's something, and that's something you got to do in dating. You got to come up with your checklist. And some people are like, what am I supposed to be interviewing? I don't know. What are you dating for?
That's the only comment OP responded to.
I mean, a lot of the comments, like I said, are usually like no-goes. I mean, no.
This comment, I like this first line. It's not your job to fix him. It's not your job to teach him to be respectful or emotionally mature. Repeat that to yourself as much as you need until you believe it. And there's more here, but I really love that because here's the truth. If you walk away from that relationship, you're going to teach yourself something and you're going to teach him something.
Well, and I think also too, you really want to show power in a relationship. If you feel like that this conversation is not going to go anywhere, and you feel like the word disgusted, which you just such a phrase that you don't feel like the relationship can
In a
something to
way. Way.
yeah, there is a point where you can just sit there and say, that's how he feels, and he can feel that way. I'm gonna move forward on my own footing and do what I want to do. And if you're feeling any type of way about being with them, then you can leave them. But I think that's so extreme. I think everybody wants to leave everybody.
Well, and I think I liked how she's like, I don't know, best case, worst case scenario. Should I do this? Should I not do this? I think there is an undertone of should I break up with him here?
Yeah.
Even if he apologizes, even if he totally understands it, even if he sees the error of his ways, I don't know if I should tolerate this. Maybe you shouldn't. And that's the thing. If you're coming to an online source to ask, should I break up with him? Yes, you should. Because other people's opinions shouldn't fucking be the thing that is the tipping point on whether or not you stay somewhere when you're not happy.
Well, and I think that it's all about like how do you feel when you're with them? Does it give you, do you feel confident? Do you feel loved? Do you feel like they're your person with you? I mean, at 7 months, that's really hard to tell. 19 or 20, that's really hard to tell. But, like you said, if you come to the internet, I think you have your answer.
At 19, you're still finding yourself. You're still figuring out who you are. This is part of who you want to incorporate, and you understand that he's going to see you different, and you don't want to be seen different. You want to be seen for who you are, and that's your answer.
Well, yeah, no, I like how she does it because now this is going to become part of your questionnaire for the future, right? And a lot of people have this.
It's not even going to be a part of your questionnaire. It's going to be a part of how people
That's true.
meet you.
Yeah, true. If she actually changes and doesn't wear a bra anymore, then they'll just see you, and then there is no questions about it.
Well, but there might be. You might get with someone and go on a first date, and they might be like, "Do you ever?" Then you can be like, "No, it's free to tatas forever."
Yeah.
And be like, "Okay, that's cool." Or I don't know about that. Would you consider wearing a bra if I took you home to meet my mom?
Yeah.
It might actually start some conversations about modesty, acceptability, when and where, set and setting kind of things.
And then the cultural piece to it,
Mm-hmm.
is she looking to date someone within her own culture? Is that going to be extraordinarily hard to find someone that is going to be acceptable? Like, is going to accept her just who she is, not wearing a bra? That's a tough one. Yeah. All right. How do we end this thing?
Saying healing is not linear and this space is messy, and we invite anyone who wants to come into it with us. If you have questions or want relationship feedback, please email us at piecesinprogress@gmail.com. Reach out to us on our socials. Until next time, same place, same authenticity. We out.